Hey everyone, Spicy Toast Gaming here. I hope you're having a great day and I hope this video can make it a little bit better. We recently hit 10,000 subscribers, so this is our kind of celebration video. We're doing our face reveal and also doing a little bit of a story time on why we actually ended up becoming a YouTuber. Before we get into that though, I just want to say a massive shout out to all of you supporting the channel and especially you members going that extra mile. We've been getting a lot of sponsorship opportunities lately and having to turn them all down because we look into the company and they're just shady. It's not a product that I'd really be comfortable advertising to you all or promoting, but turning down each one of those is a pretty big chunk of money that I'm not having to support my family, which is always a bit rough. So thank you to all of you that are going that extra mile supporting the channel. This is my full-time job now. So having to turn down extra income definitely hurts. Really appreciate everyone supporting the channel though. So I'll put up a list of all of our members. Thank you all. I really appreciate it. Now, why did I actually end up becoming a YouTuber? Definitely wasn't for the money, I will tell you that. Content creation has been something I've always thought about, either YouTube or Twitch, but I always thought I was just being immature or kind of foolish, not being realistic, and so that's why I never really went for it. I was like, you know what, everyone wants to be a YouTuber, everyone wants to be in content creation, and that is true, but I think most of that is everyone wants to be a big YouTuber, everyone just wants to be famous, or everyone just wants to make money playing video games and they just leave it at that, where that's not really where I come from. I actually am kind of artistic in my own way. I like being able to produce something and make educational, enjoyable content, or at least hopefully enjoyable, and put that out there to people. I didn't get into this just because I wanted to play video games and make money, but growing up, or while I was thinking about going into content creation, I never actually pulled the trigger on it because I just thought it was unrealistic, but I never really felt drawn towards any other profession. Now, I went to school for IT just because, kind of more going through the steps of, I thought that's what you had to do for life, is just go to college, get a degree, and then try to get a job. But while I was at college, I met my wife. I was a junior, so year 3, and she was actually a freshman, which I did not know before I ended up talking to her. Probably would have not decided to do that going into it, but very happy I did. Won't really go into a lot of details here because that could be its own whole video. If you want to learn about how we actually met, definitely leave a comment down below. Maybe I'll talk about it some other time. But we ended up falling in love, getting married, and I was then finished school, but she still had a couple years left. So we had to stay in the same town that our school was, and I just had to get a job right away. I couldn't apply around the country, try to get the best match for me, one that actually pay pretty well and give benefits and things like that. I just had to get a job right away to start providing for my family. So had a lot of random jobs, a lot of really bad jobs. I briefly sold insurance, which that was another whole story in and of itself. Worked in a couple different call centers, and then I ended up being able to get a job in IT help desk. But this job, I was never going to be an employee. My manager told me that pretty much when I got hired. This was going to be a contract only position, and there had been people working there for like 10 years and they were still contractors. Even though the people right above me, my like manager and supervisor, they were really great, but the people above them just really didn't like the IT department for whatever reason. So I worked there for like 2 to 3 years, maybe even like, I think it was over 3 years that I worked there, and really was getting sick of just always being a contractor with no benefits whatsoever. No benefits at all. So I decided I would try to get a real job, a career, and actually be hired on as an employee. At this point, my wife had graduated. She was able to have a real job and start her career, which was awesome. But that means providing was not just something that I had to do alone anymore. She was able to help with that and make pretty similar money to what I was making at the time. So I went and tried to get a real job, and I applied to a whole bunch of companies, and kind of like 3 in a row had it where they just treated me really badly. I was going through the interview process, everything was seemingly going really, really well, and then each one of them, for a reason that I found out that each reason didn't actually have anything to do with me. It wasn't that, oh, I just didn't perform well enough in the interview, because if it was something like that, it's like, okay, I can try to do better, I can try to improve. But each time I had done really well, but for a separate reason, the company had just like ghosted me. They didn't tell me or anything that they were stopping the hiring process. I would have to just like constantly reach out, and then like weeks later finally get an email being like, oh yeah, for this reason we decided we're not actually hiring for that position anymore. And it's just like, great. So that happened several times in a row with several different companies. Really just got me fed up. And so that was what pushed me into finally going into content creation, because I was like, no, I'm not gonna do content creation, not gonna go be a YouTuber or something that's unrealistic. It's gonna take a long time before I make any money at all, and even when I do start making money, it's not gonna be really enough. But after getting screwed over by so many companies, I was like, you know what, screw it, I will do this myself. I will make this work. And that was what pushed me into actually becoming a YouTuber. Now, why I chose Path of Champions, I had played Legends of Runeterra pretty much since it came out into 1.0. Always really liked the game, but I didn't like the PvP side of it. Thought it was fine, but I just didn't really enjoy it myself. I always liked like the Lab of Legends, any of their PvE sort of game modes. And during this whole time of trying to get a real job, or well, start my career and not just working at any sort of position, I found that there wasn't really any good YouTube videos on Path of Champions. There was some here and there, but most of it was just like unedited gameplay with a lot of people that just weren't trying very hard. And so I decided, you know what? I think I can do better here. I can probably actually put out some content that no one else is covering. Like, no one was doing guides, no one was really doing any sort of content other than unedited gameplay videos. And so I was like, here's a niche, here's something that I can fulfill, start with, and try to work from there. So I went for Path of Champions, and everything else is kind of history. We've started the channel or been posting videos for a bit over a year now. It's been like a year and 2 months, something around there. So been a bit of time, but I think for hitting 10,000 subscribers that we were able to get there pretty quickly, especially with playing such a niche game. So again, thank you all for your continued support. I don't plan on going anywhere. I plan on just further expanding, doing more streaming, doing more videos, and starting to add my face here and there around the channel. It's still not going to be in every video, but if there's some that are a little bit more of a discussion video, that there's not really a point to have too much other stuff on the screen, or especially for streaming, I'll probably be doing it a lot more. So you will be seeing more of me around the channel, but for the most part, all of the normal videos are still going to be here, but we're just going to continue to expand and try to continue to improve the channel like we always do. Again, thank you all for your continued support. I hope to keep growing the channel and have another celebration video in maybe another 10K. Thank you all, especially to all you awesome members. I really appreciate it, and I hope you all have a great day.